Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for SH Figuarts Super Saiyan Trunks. And I believe this is around the time when he's training the hyperbolic chamber, hence he has the long hair. And along, I believe, the Cell Saga, when they're finding Cell. Yep. So it's really amazing they've released this particular mold. I think a lot of people are looking forward into getting this particular one. I actually like this version of Trunks. Yep. Here's the box. So we are getting the normal head also, which is great. I'm just kind of curious how well that hair is. There's a part of the bangs kind of sticks out. I hope it's not that fragile. I got mine from Tatsu Hobby. I'll provide the link down below if you are interested. And let's take a look inside. Here we go. We got Trunks here. And I do like that they're keeping out with the premium color. They used to make it as an exclusive, but now that's kind of like the norm. The premium color edition, or some people call it PCE. So that's quite nice. Overall, it looks great. Although I find the backside of this armor, or the Saiyan armor here, it's a bit odd looking. But I think that has something to do with the articulation. The head sculpt is great. You got a lot of sharp points there. The front part here is that flexible rubbery plastic, so that's great. Not going to be an issue. But yeah, even on the side, it has a little bit of give. I don't think those are going to break unless it falls from a high ground. Yeah, that's really nice. Alright, so going over articulation, we have the neck here. And you have the base of the neck also, but it barely gives you anything sometimes. Well, it looks down a little bit more. Then you have the shoulder here. And you get your swivel, bicep swivel, you get your elbow. Mine is a bit loose. It's part of that bicep or the arm gimmick. They give you this, the crossover arms, which is kind of interesting. I haven't seen this added to the figures for quite some time now. They took this out because for the longest time you can just kind of simulate that by just putting the hands over like this, and this works out quite well. The problem with this one is you have to pop out the arm joint here by the bicep, and this one's actually really short. Yeah, and it's always like a tricky thing to put this on and trying to get it to work. And actually, let me try that while we're at it. Just pop this out here. I'm not too fond of this. I remember trying it on Piccolo, and it was ridiculously. Yeah, even this one here. It looks weird too. Or maybe I haven't pushed it all the way in, but there we go. Well, I guess it's not too bad, but yeah, actually this one it looks a lot nicer. Obviously, that's what it's made for. Yeah, but I'm just not too fond of this. I'm okay with just crossing the arms with just normally. And I put in the wrong arm. Wrong side. Right, so we get that bicep swivel there. Kind of interesting how this hinge is. Oh, I see. So this whole thing is a sleeve. The top part here. Huh. So we're just gonna make sure it's all the way in. But still, it's a bit loose. Not a big thing though. It's not that loose to the point that it's gonna be an annoyance. So that's that. And then you get your typical wrist joint here. We'll go with the extra faces and hands a bit later on. Then for the torso, this is kind of interesting design. You can actually extend this out here. There seems to be a ball joint there, quite long, with a peg, and a hinge that connects on the back side. Yeah, we can kind of see it on the back here. Oh, interesting. You got your waist joint there, allows you to kind of crunch down or on the back. Although I'm kind of worried about this, I guess the lip here. You might scratch the paint on top here, so maybe give it a bit of an extra caution when you're moving this around. Make sure to pull up a little bit, adjust it, then slide it down, not just scrape it off the surface of that. Yeah, it's still a weird design, but yeah, we have that articulation. It's always a trade-off. Then you have your waist here. Then this towards the leg, it's a bit weird. You got this collar here, but it does give you quite a bit of articulation. And we have this kind of similar to the Awakened Warrior Goku, or the battle damage one, which is not too bad. It does fill up the gaps. We don't see that joint kind of like this, or actually the actual ball joint. Those are actually hinges, so it's not too bad, and still get fairly good articulation with that. You get your knee joint right here, and you have your ankle joint. The ankle joint, the peg is actually attached all the way in the back here, and I just popped that off. There we go. Then you have your toe. Yeah. Yeah, this is just too loose. Might have to do something with this one. Let me try that fix now while we're at it. Alright, so for a loose joint, I typically just use this technique where you use the clear floor polish pledge or future, depending on where you are. And I have a bit of it on this small bottle here. So I just use a paintbrush and just apply a little bit of it around there. Wipe off the excess. You don't want the other parts to be too shiny. So just apply it there, maybe even in the inside part of this. For the most part, this technique works. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's when you try other things, and we'll see if it does work here. Do the same thing on this other side here. Basically, we're just coating this. If this is the first time you've seen this technique, there we go. Just apply around it. Then do the same thing for this. I think that's good enough. Let it dry for a couple of minutes, and we'll see if it works. Alright, so after a couple of minutes, even though it's not dry, you can put it back, and here we go. So there's a little bit more friction there now. It's not that loose. Same thing with the other side here. Yeah, because before it would just slide down, and you can always apply more. And over time, as you play around with your figure, that does wear off. And that's the great thing about that clear floor polish. It's just a thin layer, and that thing wears away, and it doesn't really damage the plastic, and you can always reapply it. And it works also for hinges like this here. You just wick a little bit there, exercise the joint, and there we go. A quick way to fix loose joints. Alright, so that's that. Let's go over the other accessories. Alright, so this is an alternative aside from the floor polish technique. Just in case you don't have that ball yet, and it's kind of like the same way. You're just tightening up the joint by putting something to wrap around it. So you grab a paper towel, just a little bit. Just grab a small piece right there, and here we go. Now with this technique, it only works if you can dismantle the joint. It does not work for hinges, hence why I eventually got the floor polish bottle to do those loose joints. But for this one, it works for a ball socket or peg connection like this. All we're gonna do is just place it on top. So that's a small layer. We don't want it too big, otherwise it's gonna overlap. And we're just gonna push this in here. There we go. And now it does the same way, or the same thing with the floor polish. It's tightens the joint now, so that's good. So either way, you can use that technique or the floor polish for the peg connection, whichever works for you. And there you go. All right, let's do a face swap. Let's see here. So let's do the first one here, and there we go. Pop that out. Pop out the face. It's actually my first time doing this. There we go. Let's try this one here. There we go. All right. So this one is looking forward. Yeah, the hair, this banger that's gonna get in the way. But yeah, quite nice. And you do have other hands while we're doing the face swap. We'll also swap the other hand here, or the other face. So you do have two other pairs of hands. So other than the closed fist, you have the key blast hand, open hand, and you have one where kind of like the, let's see, let's just swap that out here. I guess either is blocking a punch, or you can do the Kamehameha, although he doesn't do that though. I'm trying to think of what is Trunks' attack. Yeah, as it turns out, there's actually a couple of moves that Trunks used. I was thinking of Masenko, but that was Gohan, but he did use Masenko also. Anyways, yeah, this is great. Otherwise, let's swap out with the last face. So we'll take this out. There we go. Actually, one of his moves is there's a lot of rapid hand gesture. It's kind of like a jutsu. Quite interesting. So for that, let's swap the hands with the open hand. There we go. And you can still use Masenko. And I believe Gohan might have taught him that. Well, with the other hand. So the attack is putting the hands on the forehead, then just pushing the energy forward. Yep, quite nice. Otherwise, we do have the alternate head, which involves popping this whole thing out. Sometimes it's kind of hard. I have to just separate the faces, and alright, there we go. And we have the normal head here, which is really nice of them to do. Which I think was they should have done in the first place, instead of having a normal version and a Super Saiyan version. But they've been doing this a lot more lately, which is good. And let's just swap out with the regular hands here. Yeah, this is a really nice Trunks figures, and definitely it's for those who wanted to have a future Trunks. Or actually, this is the adult future Trunks. Yeah. There we go. Really nice figure, and definitely you might want to pick more than one if you want to do head swaps with Goku or Gohan, since they have a similar body size. Anyways, that's about it for this review. Hope you guys like it. And again, I got mine from Tatsu Hobby. If you have any questions, let me know. So until then, this is Meats. Thanks for watching.